Eric in Georgia, you've been waiting a really long time. Thank you so much. And it says you're becoming sober as an atheist, and he said you wanted to talk to me about it. Hi, Eric. You're on with Jenna and Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, how are you guys? I'm glad to have both of you. I've actually talked to both of you on Facebook. You're the only guys from the ACA I've really chatted with, but other than Eric, but he'll talk to anybody.
Thanks for reaching out. I know it's really, really hard to get sober.
Yeah, and I heard you talk to you a little bit about it. Put out the disclaimer, that any way you can get sober if you want to, you should take that, whether it's religious or secular or whatever. But I went in at the beginning of this year into a rehab that I thought was non-religious, and because that's what I asked, and I realized I was asking the wrong question because it wasn't religious, but it was full of God. And I know, Jenna, you might have had some experience with AA. I'm not sure about you, Dave, but I think I offered to buy you a beer if you were in Georgia before I was sober.
I remember that. Yeah.
But, okay.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I just got really okay. Do you want to tell your story or anything, or did it help you?
What is it that you wanted to know? Because I have a lot of stories about that. So.
Oh well, yeah, I'm sure. Just with when I went in there, it was good, it was great, but it just pissed me off that they kept saying you can't get sober without God or a higher power. And I'm just like, well, fuck you, yes I can. And I'm
good for you.
Yeah.
So it kind of had a reverse psychology help, maybe.
Oh, good.
But I thought,
show them, tell them you're wrong, motherfuckers. I'm doing it, and I'm not needing God. And the reality is, we think, or we say that the higher power is helping us, when the reality is we're helping ourselves, and we're giving credit to the higher power. And it pissed me off too, Eric.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you feel that way. And I would say tell them that. Just say no. You're wrong. You're wrong.
So to give kind of a devil's advocate, okay. This is very tricky because I am anti-AA at the moment, from what I've learned about the statistics of whether or not it works. Now, I was very lucky that it worked for me. Now, in my particular mindset, with the level of abuse that I had experienced about a God, right? And then the journey that I was on, a position I was in, it was actually helpful for me. But I think that was coincidental. The thing is that I had tried to quit drinking so many times in every way possible. There was one time I wrote on index cards all of the reasons that I should quit drinking. And my stack was so thick that I was like, I just look at that stack and I was like, oh, that's enough reasons not to drink. But it only worked for so long. So I actually was forced to go to AA because I got a PI and couldn't afford to pay the ticket. And I listened to these stories of all these people, and I just saw myself in every single story. And that was the first time in my life that I was given the opportunity to realize I was really, really wrong about something that I had been very, very convinced I was right about, which was that I'm young, I can't be an alcoholic, I'm just having fun. And I realized, holy crap, I am an alcoholic. So that helped me. So immediately I realized I can't do this by myself. And I think that is what I used from AA and rehab, is the fact that I needed help. I needed external information and support. I couldn't just do it like some people say, right? And so I actually translated the meaning of the word God in that process to, well, my God's Mother Nature. So I used it as, well, I need fresh air and water and trees and nature to get sober, which helped me meditate, helped me calm down in many ways. But again, I think that was strictly coincidental. I hate how much they force the word God on you. And I think that they intend you to end up translating it the way that they want you to in some kind of religion or whatever. But you're right. It is manipulative. And there are many people, I think, in the chat. I think somebody recommended Smart Recovery. That is a positively secular, sober option. But again, it ended up working for me. While I wouldn't encourage people to go to AA. It is an option, and it can be helpful to certain people in certain circumstances. I just can't be the judge of that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and I was introduced to Smart Recovery. Go ahead.
No, that's fine, Eric. You go ahead.
Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say,
I've been. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Dave. Stop talking.
Yeah, well, I've been introduced to Smart Recovery, and it used the scientific more methods like DBT and CBT to kind of make you take responsibility for not necessarily all that you've done, but your actions in the future. And AA was just basically trading an addiction for alcohol with an addiction for God. And so I kind of went towards Smart Recovery more.
Well, good for you.
So are you on a good path now, Eric? Are you, what's your situation now?
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm really stubborn, like I said. So I'm holding strong with it. It just kind of depressed me to see all the people that I was around that were, giving it up to God. But then, now 6-7 months later, a lot of them have been back to the same, to the same recovery program. And it's like, geez.
See, that's the thing that I think you need to pay attention to is if it doesn't work, try something else.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem when we bring God into the equation, and when we try to make a room for a God helping us, then it does absolve us of personal responsibility, and that's the damaging part to my understanding. In my understanding, when we try to factor God into things, whereas if they just said, "This is on you," and there are people here that can help you, and that's where you get your sponsors and stuff. And so it's humans helping humans. Yeah, you can't, like Jenna said, you can't do it on your own oftentimes. So get people to help you, because those are real live people. Those are somebody that's actually there, instead of some imaginary friend who, when you call on him and he keeps not answering, at some point you go, wow, I'm kind of, this isn't working. And I think that's part of the relapse issues, is that they're teaching these people to depend on something that's just not there.
Yeah. And
so I hope they would have that realization that it wasn't working,
I don't know.
Thank you for bringing this topic up, because I do think that that's important and very, very confusing at times. So
I'm glad you're doing good, Eric.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thank you. And y'all too. And congrats on the baby too, again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eric. You have a good one.
Good guy.
All right.
Yeah, I remember him. He's wanted to buy me a beer, but not now, I guess.
I resent beer, but that's a personal thing.